So what is going on today is me and Morgan we're not logging today. Me and Morgan went ahead and took this opportunity. He's helping me to go back to work on these forks. We're kind of working on it in the shop in between times logging. When we get rained out, logging, or weathered out or whatever, then we go back to the shop and start on our winter fabrication / mechanicing list of things to do, which is quite a bit to do. We got motors to rebuild, we got a truck to rebuild, we got these forks to make, we got to try to get the lowboy in there that I bought 2 years ago, still ain't had time to get to. We got multiple rear ends to do. We got brakes to put in 2 machines and a rear end to go through on skidder number 6, the back rear end. Something come apart in it, and we're gonna tear into it. What else? Walking floor. Derek and Chris tears into the walking floor that we've been having trouble with. Totally pulls the walking unit out of it and rebuilds it. Meanwhile, Dan is neck deep in Blackie guts. Robin is kind of skipping around doing a little bit of everything. We end up stripping some cylinders off the 748. Sending it down to get them big bore cylinders redone, which I actually need to call them. I need to make a note of that. Hang on just a second, guys. Call All-Tide. I gotta think on paper, my brain. It quit thinking years ago. So anyways, me and Morgan's flopping these forks over backwards so I can get in there and weld. I've added flange. See where his forks are on the fork truck forks? I've added flanges down the side of this clamp because it's going to have to be a lot stronger than it was. Since we've extended this clamp a foot, we added a foot section to it, and we're going to need to so I'm going to have to do a bunch of welding under here. So Morgan helped me flop it over so I can weld it on a flat, so I ain't overheading all that deep gap, and I can let gravity help me flow the weld down in that huge gap I got.
Yes, that here was 3,400.
What Morgan's leaning on there is the new forks.
What do you think one of them weighs?
It's hard to tell.
That's fucking heavy shit.
They're not light, I promise you.
No, that's it.
Oh wow. So we just got over to that junkyard redoing it.
They going good?
Oh yeah, he's down there in the rat hole.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
He's done good.
She's a lot of fun.
That's a bad job.
Last time I was riding around with him on Dad, I was down there in that chain where they take the lumber off the line down there. And man, I followed him around all fucking day. I went straight to the bar after work.
Is that? That's how.
I'm ballsy, Tater. I'll climb up this mother. I don't care.
Yeah, hang on now, Longer Wait don't have
I believe that's all in the workman's comp, wasn't it?
Yeah, just don't say it's best for my camera.
Well, I was grabbing this piece of metal and all of a sudden I busted my ass. I guess I gotta lift it up for a second.
That ass, what piece of metal was it? It's a piece of little lumber. That's what.
So I've got my little bit of welding done on the clamp now, and I've done some underneath welding on the fork frame itself. I actually missed a couple welds and had to come back and do them overhead later. But with Morgan's help, we're going to flop this forks back over if we can figure this out. And Morgan wanted to record it, the dysfunctionality, so I thought, heck with it. And I apologize for I've got the video quality screwed up on a couple vids here. I screwed up and had a cover on my camera. Didn't realize that it was going to mess up the vids like this, so I want to apologize. This is one of the last vids. I think this vid will straighten up here in a little bit when I finally took that cover off my camera, but it was like a ND filter, and it was totally unnecessary for inside the shop. It really screwed up the picture. That's why it's all fuzzy and blurry looking. But so me and Morgan's recording the dysfunctionality, and almost, it's just a mess. Anytime Morgan said went home there night and had to go straight to the bar, he said it was a mess. I just go. I don't use a lot of common sense. I just go.
They're gonna smash your come along. You're gonna blow out all these fucking lines too.
Hell shit, I'm trying to take it up and pull that angle iron out. That cord set on that angle iron.
No. It's a pain in the ass, you know that? Pick it up.
There.
No. Nope. That fork's got slack in it there.
Yeah, you might pick up your fork truck now. So, hey, yeah, here, stand on this, my guy. You're bigger than I am. There you go. That's a good idea. They better run it down low.
Fuck some shit up with them, huh? You cut them. Yeah, he did cut them at an angle.
Inside the fork frame sitting like a 4-inch or higher off the floor. I can see it from here.
Got any comments there, Derek?
See it look up from up here. See it right there on the floor?
Yeah.
No, the fork frame itself.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, right there. That's sitting like a 1/2 inch higher off the ground. I don't know if it's sitting on top of something or...
It'll be alright, y'all worrying too much. These are temporary.
Yeah, but I want them
Oh, they'll last.
to last the duration. They'll last.
It's whoever's loading the freaking flatbeds must pay attention.
He'll rip
They
it
hook
in.
them ribs, they're gonna tear one all the hell.
They hook them now? Because I did the same thing I got
They
on
lay
Eli.
them down and drag them.
Well, Kerry's
Oh.
getting pretty good about not dragging them. Because I bitched at him, he was hooking my ribs up on my trailer. So, well, I guess
It's the
technically,
same tube.
technically Chris's
It's gonna be
trailer
longer now,
now.
so
And that's the same. I put the same thing on I did on Eli's.
it's got the same thing on it. Okay.
Yeah, Kerry
I
is
couldn't
getting good
remember
about
if I put
not
them on or
dragging
not,
them.
but
Yeah, it's on Eli's. I made these exactly like I did Eli's. Because that's how I finally fixed Eli's.
If you look in the middle of the trailer that Larry always pulls, they'd
It's-
always set them down and drag them and they catch those ribs and they just start
Tears that
tweaking
trailer
back.
open.
That's the only
Well,
thing I
no,
like.
these are smooth on everything. There's no hard surface on the forks.
Yeah, right here's what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's got hard surface on it because the one I done on Eli's, it
Yeah.
was wearing through.
So they used to set it down on those and they drag the forks back across it and they just catch the ribs on flatbed all the time.
Kerry is getting good about not doing that though.
I think I've had to screw that
Long
one
as y'all
floor
watch.
back down like 3 or 4
Yeah.
times.
Okay.
Where they
We'll
catch
just have
them.
to let him know not to drag them off. If you all get new flatbeds, he's
But other
going
than
to
that,
be
they
really
look good.
Which it
I'm a
should.
worry work though.
Well,
Yeah,
I
because
think
you
I
got-
done it exactly like I did
Because we
Eli.
gotta fix the damn things whenever somebody tears
Yeah,
them
I
up.
mean, we gotta fix shit, you know. Okay, so just for a quick update, we got, oh, bless America, tripping over everything in the shop. So me and Morgan took the hooks off, and now we got the back of the forks is cleaned off, ready for the loader to mate up to it. And here's our pieces we took off. Then Morgan cleaned them up. And here's the hooks frame thingamabobs.
I gotta do that one.
Yeah, there's another on the floor. But I don't know how this new loader, the concern I'd have is whether the pin's gonna be the same size, which I act like there's a lot the same. So who knows? But I'm sure we'll have to end up cutting this off and moving it and maybe boring that out a little bit, or I don't know. Just have to see when we get it. Who knows what it'll be.
Who knows?
Yep. Okay, so I was recording this and making a video, but Roger told me that he forgot to turn the camera on. He thinks it's my fault. I can't be in control of my camera and everything, Roger. So Roger's driving Eli's loader because Eli's not here right now because of his heart surgery. And we got the quick coupler and we're gonna bring the new loader in and marry it. So we're gonna put this here.
Wait a minute. We gotta retank. Hey, Rod, don't be them holes in the back of my bucket.
It's working. All right, me and Raji's got our hoses on. They ain't perfect, but they're good enough. Me and Raji's proud of it. You want to work it? No.
I was gonna get these things start looking in.
You want to work it back and forth? Let me watch and make sure we don't get these hoses in a pinch. First, before we move on,
Yep.
in case you mismeasured. Now watch, he'll run me over. He said, don't tip me. Rock it all the way back.
We'll take it. It looks good, Raji. All right. Okay, so I don't know what day this is or how we're doing this on this loader project. It's actually the 11th of February right now. Okay, so we're back on the loader project, and this here is the forks, and here's our hooks. We got just blanks made up for our hooks, and them hooks mount to this quick coupler. Now this is a JRB 415 coupler, I think, high vis, so it's actually a little wider. The high vis coupler is a little wider, and I'll tell you what I like about this, not to ramble too much, but lining these pins up with that boom arms, putting all that strain right there in the boom arms. Now look at the forks outside here. Here's where the old one's mounted, and we actually broke this set was broke down here. Now we'll end up moving that out here and getting it closer to here, which will make that a lot more strength. You know, everything out there to where you're using it, you know, you got to get your spread your strength out there where you're using it. Okay, so here we go. Now our existing loaders, the pitch is perfect on the forks when you pitch it back or dump it. And this thing's got plenty of oscillation as far as all the way dumped to all the way back. So I'm gonna measure this. Put this bad boy down here. And we're at 48 degrees when she set down. She's locked and set down. 48 degrees. And I'm gonna put this down here at my 48. Of course, right there where I get to 48, it's gonna be a little turd. Now that's where this one is. Now let's go over here and check one of our existing loaders that we know is right. So we're getting right against right. You know what I mean? All right, this is one of our old ones. Let me measure this. That's what I was figuring. The angle's a little bit different. Let me do some ciphering. So here we go. We got plenty of room. You can see where this is shorter and that's shorter. So the old hooks was closer together. The new hooks are farther apart. Angles are about the same, so I'm not going to concern myself with that now. So they're within a couple degrees, and I ain't going to fret over a couple degrees with log forks. We got plenty of articulation on the dump on log forks, and we got plenty of articulation back, so not a concern. So I'm just going to try to mimic as much as I can what we already have. Now, if I raise the new hooks up too high, I'm afraid I'm going to give up some height and lift height. So now I'm going to look up the capacities, the dimensions on 544s as opposed to a 624, and we'll see where I get there. After careful measurements and tweaking and twerking, this is what I come up with. This bottom pin is going to stay the same height. We moved everything in 2 inches, 2 inches. The angle's the same, even though it looks like this is tipped forward, it's not. It's just an illusion, but because everything slid forward. But then I'm gonna cut the front end out and be just like the forks, the existing forks. But the top is gonna be a little bit of a different angle to miss this wear strip up here. Well, Let me get to whacking around on him.
All right, I'll admit I have mispronounced 100 things on this project here, and I'm telling you, I had a bunch of things screwed up, but it turned pretty catastrophic here. Some of my function terminology and all that stuff. Man, I got a daggone aggravating phone call. I tell you, I get that phone. Oh, sometimes I want to throw it out in the road and just run it over. But getting into this, I made a bunch of mistakes going into this, not knowing enough about hooks. Now, I'm not going to throw the sheet up. I'll get to the sheet later. I'll show you all this sheet in the next video. We're going to do one more video here on these forks, and I'll get into all that in the next video. But the hooks that I'm putting on there, well, we'll get into that in the next video. I'm not going to get into this one. But there's a lot more terminology than what I understood at the day I was actually fabricating this, and I learned a lot later. So the farmer bibs didn't exactly help me think like an engineer, you know. So
Oh, yeah?
No, those are button
Yeah, it's on too. Tater, edit out the butt connectors or not.
especially the blue butt connectors.
Alright. Well, the first one is cut. So there's the first one.
Not claim itself.
All right, there we go. I got them lined up together to cut, to move one down to the other. I'm going to mark it out and we'll cut her out. Okay. What we're going to do, we got these cleaned up, got them cut out. Both of them cut out, cleaned up. I leveled out the fork frame. It's up and it's level. And wipe off the swing, Tater. How about that? How about them apples? I can see clearly now you're ugly-ish. Oh, I'm sorry. So anyways, yeah, it ain't a dirty screen. So I got the forks level, and then I'm gonna put, and what I did is I measured, just so y'all, to help somebody might need this help, you know, those of you that don't need help move along, on a little farther down the vision trail. But to get your centers here, I measure offset measurements, what I always do, or I always call it. So get your centers in this situation. You measure the one end and the inside of the other, and then you get your center. And then you add half, what I did is I add half of the thickness of this to one side. Oh, I screwed up. Oh boy.
I'm going to take this opportunity to shut this video off because I'm about halfway done with assembly here. I'd be most all the way done except for the fact we run into a major malfunction. And I don't want to get into it on this video because it'd be making this video too long. But come back, if y'all can, to the next video where I lose my schniz and something goes... Oh, I can't make this stuff up. Everybody have a good day. Leave me like, comments, all that stuff. Let me know what's up. And don't forget to smile. Later on, everybody. Have a good one. great.